I think I need another cheeseburger.
Digging around with fucking mascara on his fucking temples, leaking like Tammy Faye Baker, just fucking gutted a fish.
I think it's really more about a time when Hollywood thought that Gary Busey made for a decent father figure role model.
Some fucking big thing walks off the launch pad and goes, "Hello, everybody! I'm Bobcat Goldthwait," or something. I don't know. And
That would be incredible.
It's time for the middle class holes.
well, you're talking about like saving content. Like I'm preparing to come downstairs to my labyrinth to record this. You know, where I broadcast from at least. And Sarah and Dylan are like, what are you talking about tonight? I'm like, well, I'm running a little bit late, but I'll give you the rundown. And I start going through a few headlines, and immediately it's like, you're not going to talk about this? You're not going to talk about that? What about this? I was like, oh, I thought you guys had a question about what we were talking about. Okay, I got to go. I got to get out of here.
I mean, it's a good pitch strategy. You know, they lull you in to like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Because here's what we want you to talk about.
We were eating dinner an hour ago. Fucking, that's a great time. Not 9:01 when I'm a minute late trying to hustle down here and not hold my co-hosts up because I'm a gracious guy. I love y'all.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't even get it. I was about to inform them of all the you know, the line item, the headlines, the news stories, all the fabulous shit we're going to discuss tonight. We got a hot type. I don't even know what to say. We got a hot show for y'all.
Hot potato.
Don't touch it.
We got a hot skillet, and we're ready to dump some ingredients in there, baby. Let's make an omelet. Let's crack some eggs. And this is what I wanted to run by you guys. And Wes, you've known me the longest, especially, and I'm kind of excited about this. So don't completely eviscerate my dreams just yet. I am thinking about becoming a life coach. First thoughts, go.
I want to be your partner because I was thinking the same thing the other day. So
right,
let's
Wes,
do it.
Yeah, no.
Do I not give some decent advice?
Yeah, I remember you have a pretty good aptitude for listening and bouncing, you know, kind of hypothetical questions. Like, well, maybe you didn't think about this. You're a very, very good conversationalist. But I guess my question, I mean, hey, I have no problems with the thought and the theory and the idea and it's just not even necessarily the follow through. Is there a market for that? Are there paying customers?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think therapy, especially because of the pandemic, there are so few therapists out there now. I think we fall into the lesser tier where people are just willing to talk to any schmuck that's willing to listen and get some reasonable, not necessarily sound-minded advice. This would allow me to really explore the space, if you will. Just out of curiosity, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's this BetterHelp.com because people are scared to leave their house. They're now doing therapy Zoom sessions. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's $100 a week, and they want you to sign up for a month at a time. That's $400 a month. I'll do it for half. I'd do it for less, but half seems like a good markdown. And here's the thing. I don't have the time, the money, or the wherewithal to become an actual therapist. So I started thinking, well, what's a step down from therapist? Life coach? Then what? Like Reiki teacher?
Yeah, I think you become like a yoga instructor.
Right. Palm reader.
Yeah. You do. You offer like sound baths where they just like, you know, they like ring bells, and that's your therapy. Like,
you purchase one of those,
which I would do. I mean, fuck it, let's get some bells.
You could purchase one of those. What's it called? A desensitization chamber. You know, you float in water with no
with the salty water.
No noise and no light.
Oh, the sensory deprivation tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then God, and you invest in that, and then you don't even have to be a life coach. You say, okay, Wesley, today I want you to really think about the things that are causing you anxiety. Now I'm going to close the door, and then I just put on some fancy music, and after an hour, I'm like, how was your session? That's pretty good. Okay, it's going to be $50.
I'm gonna see like some guys are gonna be like, wait, so where's the hand job? Where's that come in?
Well, that's another 50.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, hey, man, listen. No, I think the idea is good. You have a good personality for it. I'm just thinking about the business end of it. The skills there, the ideas there, and yeah, by all means, go for it. It's just trying to think about the sector of the world that you live in, and all those seeking life therapy sessions.
Yeah, but look at this thing that we're doing right now. We've now been doing a podcast remotely, the three of us, for over a year. What's to say I can't just, send somebody a link? I charge them $50 to chat with them for an hour. Hey, what do you want to talk about? See the Snyder Cut? That was good. What'd you think? What did you think Superman was going through at the time? How does that relate to you? And I looked up what it takes to become a life coach. Nothing. You don't even need a certificate.
No,
you need an LLC.
Mm-hmm. You just brand yourself a life coach, and then you start. Yeah. And I think part of it too is like, what you really need to do is like we can do if we're gonna do it together. We buy ourselves like a really nice camera, and then we go on like an all-inclusive vacation, and we snap some shots. Just living the high life, margaritas, toes in sand, that kind of stuff. And then we come back and we use those on our marketing materials, being like, look at the life we live. It's pretty great. And you should listen to us.
We know enough schmokes and joes to give fake testimonials.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I talked to these people and they just told me to shut the fuck up. And how look at me. I'm cured. I'm loving myself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm borrowing from a Norm Macdonald joke, but he's mocking teachers, and he's like, what are you, a third grade teacher? What's that? What kind of education that take? What do you got to be like I have a fourth grade education? And the way I'm looking at this is like, I'm damaged. I know this. I'm aware. A lot of people that are damaged don't realize how damaged they are. I just have to be mentally healthier than the next guy to be their life coach. To take that one step up, I just have to be a step above them. And I'm there for most of the world. I'd say I'm living about a 70% mentally healthy life. So I just have to find the 69% below me that are fucked. And I can help them. Or not. Doesn't matter. I'm just a life coach. You have to play the game.
Free consultations? Is that a thing?
Nah, I'm pretty sure I got to charge you for that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's consultations are half an hour, $25.
So how are you going to advertise? Have you thought about any type of marketing?
Coasters, exclusively coasters on bars. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Hey man, this place has podcast and life coach coasters. Hell of a bar. Here.
Look at that. They do it in one session.
I wasn't expecting this much positivity, so thank you for that. I was expecting to come into I had my battle armor on. I was ready to go, and here we are. I don't like when you tell me my ideas are good because that makes me feel like I need to pursue them.
Well, it kind of has a ring like an ordained minister to me.
Yeah,
it's got kind of that mantra to it, where anybody can do that. What do those cost online to get licensed? $25. Then there's numerous of them. I know the one I know is the Universal Life Church, which my father and brother belonged to, and have married many people. I'm going to a wedding here soon, in which one of our friends is an ordained minister. So people of the peace,
justice of the peace.
No, that's not it then. No, because that has legal.
Yeah,
that has legal. This man certainly is not no justice of the peace. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I want to know.
Go ahead.
Do ship captains are they're legally allowed to marry people?
Mm-hmm.
Is there I'd love thinking about this and then watching The Deadliest Catch and be like, that guy can marry a couple. That guy could take somebody out on a fucking crab vessel.
Does it have to
get them hitched out in the Bering Sea?
Does it have to be in international waters or something? Is that the only thing, or they can do it on land?
I don't think so. I think they can do it wherever.
Yeah, they can do it. I think they can do it wherever. There's what's that boat that goes into Niagara Falls? Those guys Those non-ship captains, those guys, those floating raft assholes who have to have a fucking like boater's license can fucking marry you.
The Maid of the Mist.
Maid of the Mist. I've been on that, by the way.
Yeah. That was too. That was back when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11.
You know what fascinated me about that was I was in town as a visitor, obviously, and the locals that we were hanging around with said, "Oh, you did the Maid of the Mist and all that stuff." Yeah, and they said, "I haven't been down there in probably 15 years." What? Really? Niagara Falls in your backyard, and you don't go down once every decade and a half? Holy shit! And he said, "Wait, you live in Baltimore, right?" "Yeah." "When's the last time you've been down to the museums in D.C.?" "About 10 years ago." No, it's been a little bit more as of late. After I became more aware of my lack of, is that a civil duty? I don't know, patriotism, maybe just hallmarks and landmarks in your backyard type thing. But I just found that fascinating that this guy in these people in Buffalo are like, yeah, I've been there, and I was a kid.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing. Like a lot of my family lives in South Carolina, and then even more of my family lives out in Texas. And I'm just like, oh, we've never been to DC. You've never been? And then I realized, like, oh, I haven't been since high school. So me and the wife went down there like 2 or 3 years ago. And of course, we went down on fucking Kite Day, where all the assholes are out there by the fucking Washington Monument flying kites for funsies. And I'm just like, this is why I haven't been here since high school, because of this bullshit.
What? Thank you. What, Kite Day in South Carolina? We're going to make a trip.
No.
Life coach coming up.
In Washington, D.C.
No.
Washington, D.C., fucko.
Oh, sorry. I just...
You just mixed... Hold on. You just mixed everything I said into a blender, and it came out like, oh, Kite Day in South Carolina? I said I have family in South Carolina, more in Texas, who's never been to D.C., I went during Kite Day, and you took that as there was Kite Day in South Carolina.
Well, then I also said life coach.
Seems reasonable.
We're going down, but I had one ear open because I was reading this. Where did you get that source about captains can marry people?
It's just a thing I've always just known. I can't
fucking popular culture.
I'm reading this right now. A ship's captain generally does not have the legal right to officiate a wedding at sea. In order for a captain of a ship to perform a marriage at sea, he must also be a judge, a justice of the peace, a minister, or officially recognized officiant, such as a notary public.
Well, who's the judge, jury, and executioner on a ship? Okay. I'd say that's the captain. I'd say whether you vote him in or not, he's the motherfucking man. It's his boat. It's like his own country once you're on it.
Yeah, I think maritime rules are totally different.
Yeah, I think you should also be gambling while you get married at sea, in my opinion.
Well, you're gambling every time you throw that ring on a finger.
Russian roulette would be more appropriate, but yeah, sure.
That's the ultimate gamble, bruh. Oh man, earlier you said step up, step down. See, I was listening to that, asshole.
Thank you.
So speaking of steps up, Biden taking a tumble. I know we had talked a little bit about this before. I don't want to dive into it to a point where we're lynching people, nailing people to a board, being super critical of those who are... My whole point of it is I just think it's funny when people laugh. There are people out there like, see, that's our commander in chief. And he can't walk up a flight of steps. I trip up and down flights of steps twice a week. And I'm not talking about tumbles, but, like the toe goes in, not paying attention. Oh, shit. I'm 38. What's Biden? Fucking 97?
Like 342.
I think
he's
78 going on 108.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, whatever age the Crypt Creeper is his age. Exactly.
I think, like I said, I just think it's funny when people do things like that and don't harm themselves. Because when you put your palms out like that, you run the risk of breaking a wrist. Older people break hips a good bit. But, he took a tumble. It was funny. That was it.
He didn't harm himself. He harmed America, Wesley.
That's right.
That's what he did when he tumbled up those steps. Now, see, I didn't want to talk about it because I kind of made a rule that I wasn't going to be I wasn't going to contradict myself. I try not to do this with opposing administrations. I hated when they went after Trump for slipping on it. Those stupid fucking like aluminum ramps.
They're terrifying.
Are some of they're the slickest things in the universe. Trump's no spring chicken himself. No. He also looks like a rotisserie chicken. He's not in great shape. He's not the most coordinated individual there's ever been. And so he slipped going down the that ramp. I'm like, okay, media, stop piling on. There's plenty to make fun of the guy for. Slipping on a ramp ain't one of them. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to make fun of Biden for falling up the steps. And then Wes is like, hey, you guys want to talk about Biden falling on the steps? I'm like, not really. I don't want to.
Well, it's just like because everyone assumes that your commander-in-chief has to be a fucking ninja. You know, these people have to be former black belts and Bruce Lee sparring partners.
America has a track record of electing very young, nimble, kind of in their prime type fucking presidents. We have a long storied history of it. No, man, I mean, like Verse said, I never really gave Trump too much shit about the wet. Like, I had to go visit a building for work, and it had one of those aluminum ramps, and I was like, ooh, this is fucking dicey. It's raining, it's misting out today. I don't know. Like, and I think we're all missing a key point. These guys are in fucking suits. I'm sure, I'm sure fucking Trumpy had some fucking like Ferragamos on. He's probably fucking slipping and sliding all over the place. And same with Biden. Yeah.
These aren't
no judgment.
Dr. Scholl's dress shoes that they're outfitting the fucking presidents with. I certainly, I was doing some reading about other, either presidents, presidential candidates or prominent people in political office who have slipped, and it wasn't like a laundry list. Of course, they mentioned Ford. We talked about this previously. Former Division I football player at Michigan, and he tripped up and down 2 or 3 times. They said Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, fell. One of them fell on one of those segways. Bob Dole fell when he was running for president. HW fell when he was doing some ribbon cutting. W when he was doing a presidential. When he was running against Clinton, so on the campaign trail, fell during a ribbon cutting ceremony at Natty Bunkport.
Wait, W or HW?
W first.
I don't think you ran against Clinton though.
That's HW, right?
HW. Sorry, yes, you're right. Herbert Walker. Okay, yeah. So like the 92 election, but yeah, I was doing a ribbon cutting. I was thinking more or less that I was going to fuck up Natty Bunkport, and I think I still am. That's why I was getting my W's and my HW's mixed up.
That makes sense.
Bush W, the real W, gonna get you. Sure. He didn't really have any slip ups. He had one of the most amazing, and this is what I'm talking about. Why it is sort of important in a way for our presidents not to be bumbling around. Remember when W had those shoes thrown at him, like when he was doing that press conference in Iraq,
awesome.
And he goes, huh, huh. He was like a fucking American Ninja Warrior up there at the podium, like, come on. And he even had a smile on his face, like, bring me number 2. And he just dodged and ducked and weaved out of the way. And it was awesome. And the reason it's kind of important is when you look at somebody like Vladimir Putin, who rides around shirtless on a horse, wrestling alligators and fighting like 20-year-olds in judo competitions and choking them out. It's like, ugh. Like, I mean, I don't know. You have to remember that the world is full of crazy assholes like Kim Jong-un and fucking Xi and fucking China and all this shit. And they're a step below us. They are lowbrow. They are look at the weakness. And it's all physical weakness that they see. And that's how they judge mental weakness, is by the physicality of people. When you see old Sleepy Joe wearing his mask, forgetting his words, and falling on steps, yeah, it kind of becomes a big deal when it's not really a big deal. It's just, like Alan said, we haven't hired. Obama was probably our last young president, and Obama never fell.
Clinton was relatively young. I think he was in his late 40s, early 50s. And I get it. He never fell. That's the hallmark of a great president. Did not fall in 8 or 4 years, right?
And Bill got a blowjob in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
So
fell down.
You can't really like.
He fell down at some point.
Somebody fell down on him.
Fell down.
Tripped. Fell down mouth first. Shit. I didn't do any reading on this. So Trump is trying to create his own social media. What's he going to call it?
I don't know. Trump cast. Yeah. I mean, it's going to say Trump something. That's for damn sure.
Wow. Is this Trumper? Is this going to be a big thing? Is this going to be a thing first and foremost?
Probably not.
It's not going to get off the ground, I don't think. Have it as a downloadable platform. Because who's going to, in the current political climate, who's going to even allow it on their servers?
That's a good point. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will.
China.
Russia.
Russia and China.
They funded his whole presidency anyway. Why wouldn't they fund his new social media platform?
Yeah. They're going to that's how they're going to fund Trump Tower in Moscow.
That's right. 2 of them.
His social media platform.
Well, I
don't know how.
I thought that there may be some more glaring opinions about this. Like Murs asking us about. Go ahead. I just saying like
no. I don't know what else to say.
We're getting off on the wrong foot. You talk.
I feel like there's a glaring delay. This is, by the way, this is just an example of how the Trump social media platform is going to go. Like, no. Wait, hold on. What'd you say? Hold on. No, I don't know how this is going to work because, 1, who's going to host it? 2, who's going to sign up for it? Like, I feel like, okay, somebody like me would sign up for it just so I can see what everybody else is saying on it and see what it looks like. But then I feel like I'd be branded a certain way that I don't want to be branded and potentially putting a target on my back to be canceled for no other reason than I'm just curious about a social media platform. It's got toxicity just floating around it. And I don't know how it would survive other than as a platform for QAnoners to share cookbook recipes.
So you're saying you don't want to make a middle Classholes page when this social media thing launches?
That's not what I said. I don't want to make
a report page specifically.
Yeah. Oh, you think these people won't mind us mocking them time and time again?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir, but the Q Report provides hard-hitting journalism on, hot button issues within the QAnon conspiracy circles.
We have no opinion other than reporting the facts, right?
Nope, just the facts. Just Jewish space lasers and things of that nature.
News, north, east, west, south.
You're the centrist here, so I mean, what's your take? Do you think it'll work? Like, how will it? I want it to be a thing. I want competition. I want to see Twitter competed with. I want to see Facebook have some competition come their way. They really have their thumb on the scale. So how does a Trump social media platform work, and who signs up for it?
Ooh, I mean, okay. Assuming he can get past all of the barriers that of authority and technological, meaning, okay, yep, we're going to allow you to host it. Here's your platform. And then again, he probably has an army of people who are going to design this and have a layout or whatever. All that aside, let's just say it's all queued up. Pun intended. No, it's just going to be a platform for more Trump supporters to go rah rah hoo hoo on this platform. And that's it. You might get some outliers who are going to go on there and troll. I don't know who would do that. But outside of that, no, it's going to be like I hate referring back to it, but there's a website for architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, and it's where architects and engineers go and talk about how 9/11 was an inside job. This echoes that same thing.
Yeah, but that's on somebody else's. That's not its own thing, though. It's not like the Facebook of architects who debate 9/11. And how many members does it have? Like 500?
No, they have
1,000. I'm just gonna stop there.
They have 3,300 architects and engineers who have signed a petition, and then another 20,000 to 25,000 normal Joes, normal citizens who have also signed that petition. People like you and people like you and me. But I mean, do you really want me to get into the petition of these professionals?
I mean, no, but I guess I'm looking at this from subscribers, and you obviously have like I think Facebook has like 2 billion subscribers or 2 billion accounts active. Twitter is probably like a half or a third of that. But we're talking about the hundreds of millions. My point would be how many people, like you said, if it's just going to be Trump supporters, just from the vote tally from this last election, which was the highest voter turnout in the history of America. So what, he has 50 million subscribers? Is that enough to make... He's all about the coin at this point. So it's not really that profitable if you do it that way.
That's what I was going to say. It's got to be just... Look for the grift is all I'm saying. Like, we just got to figure out what's his angle. Once we find out some more information, we'll figure it out. Like, right now, we just know that Trump is like, I'm going to have a social media thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best social media ever. And then, so, like, we're good right now. We're like, okay, we'll see. And then he's going to put some more details out, and you're going to be like, oh, I get it. So there's, like, tokens you buy to show your likes to people, and that yep, you're skimming that off the top. Got it. You know what I mean? So just let it play out is really all I'm saying.
And who are his advertisers going to be? It's going to be like Joel Osteen,
My Pillow,
My Pillow,
penis pills.
Those MREs that last for like 30 years, your Bunker Buster Foods, and Smith & Wesson?
Goya, all the Goya, like Latin foods, all that stuff. There's a big Trump. I think, that's a solid stable of sponsors to start off, I think.
Yeah, once you guys start dipping into the couple tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, that'll get you, that'll pave a road. Clear path.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably pulling like average TikToker engagement. So yeah, I think that's good enough.
Average TikToker. Well,
just what we need for a show of strength from America. A very subpar social platform from a former president.
Yeah. Before we get into our first break, I wanted to talk quickly about it because you guys are boxing fans from a generation prior to this one, but it turns out that Mike Tyson is going to fight Evander Holyfield. Holy shit. This is probably going to get, I would say, north of 1 million views, which is probably more than anyone in current boxing, not named Manny Pacquiao, could generate. These two 50-year-old guys who battled it out twice. There is some allure there. There is some advertising. You could use the ear bite. I always thought that Tyson should come out to twice bitten, once shy. just my opinion. It's just, god damn. You guys are somewhat, but boxing fans again from a previous generation, but you still enjoy the sport to a certain extent. What the fuck is this nonsense?
Believe it's called a money grab.
Ah, damn it.
I mean, yeah, what the fuck else would it be? What's Evander been doing? Just chilling? I mean, we know what Mike's been doing, kind of. He's been, like, just fucking revolutionizing himself, doing, like, stand-up comedy and fucking one-man shows and shit. Fucking Mike's a different person. Do I think he would still bite Evander's other ear off in this fight? Yes. But I think it's just going to be exactly kind of what you think it is. And also, like I said, I don't know what shape Evander's in, but I've seen what shape Mike's kind of in, and Mike might hurt Evander's old ass. So I don't know.
Well, I heard that originally the fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Tyson wasn't supposed to be the first fight that Tyson had on his little comeback tour here. It was supposed to be Holyfield, and Holyfield was getting ready. And then there's some contractual bullshit. Don't forget that Mike Tyson is also a ganjapreneur. He's got his own weed farm, and he's doing that whole thing too. I think this will be a more competitive fight than the Roy Jones fight. I think Tyson could have really hurt Roy Jones Jr. if it wasn't just an exhibition. Like, watching that thing back, some of the highlights, like, Tyson held back. He could have really broke that man. Hopefully, I don't know, Tyson, if he's just continued to train, and Holyfield's been training, if he's been continuously training since, the rumblings of a first fight, This might be something worth watching. We're all going to watch it anyway, though, because we're schmucks and we're idiots. And we long for boxing's glory days of our youth. And it's going to make millions upon millions of dollars. This is one of those deals where Mike Tyson has now reached a point, which wasn't always the case, that he can write his own paychecks just because he's still physically capable of doing it.
I will not be watching it, at least paying for a pay-per-view. So you can take that and stick it. Pardon me. What's Evander been doing? I don't know. Chilling, training, opened up. Probably has a gym. He lives in Atlanta or outside of Atlanta. Probably has a gym, something like that. Maybe a few real estate things. You get in shape. You don't lose the edge to fight. You just Father Time takes away reflexes, strength, speed, and things of that nature. But
all the important things.
It takes away all of the tools to do so.
Yes,
got it.
I could fight if it wasn't for this Parkinson's. I
could fight if my body did what it was supposed to do in a fight.
If I could walk up aluminum stairs. I just think I hope this. I know the Roy Jones thing was a quote unquote commercial success. I know a lot of money was generated and donated by both guys. Kudos, great. I just hope this doesn't become the status quo, because there's multiple heavyweight championship fights up on the horizon. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua just signed a 2-fight deal. Those are probably the two best heavyweights in the world right now. So I'm hoping things like this doesn't trump that this potential exhibition coming up.
Well, what does this show you? This shows you that if you put together a fight card, it doesn't matter what position the fighters are in, like from a ranking standpoint. If it's a matchup people want to see, people will spend money to see it. This is what the UFC's been doing for the last, 8 to 10 years now. Is, okay, yeah, you beat that guy up, but you don't match up well against the champ. So, sorry, you'll get a chance eventually. But I think our champ should fight this guy because their styles will be much more entertaining in the ring. That's what sells fights.
Yeah, but this is like Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock 4 on headlining pay-per-view at UFC. I mean, that's just... Whoa!
Yeah, we bumping.
This is that intro music. This is what I come out to.
Yeah. I don't know what just happened.
I get what you're saying, and it baffles me that this is what people want to see. That's all.
Yeah, well, because all their other fights, okay, so even the ear fight, which obviously ended early because of the ear bite, is still one of the most talked about fights in all of boxing history. Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, those were some knockdown, drag out, throw down brawls. Mm-hmm. And people want to see if even if they can get a fraction of that, they want to watch it. Who Anthony Joshua and who just signed a 2-fight deal?
Tyson Fury.
Okay, I would go out on the street and ask Joe Public who either one of those two people are. And see how many people actually have the answer. Which one's the champion? Ask them that and see if they can throw a coin in the air and guess.
They both are.
Like that.
They both have belts.
You see, nobody knows. Nobody cares. They're not. It's not promoted well. This will be promoted well because people know the names, because boxing at one time was promoted properly. I don't know, man. I just think that people are hungry for boxing. This proves it. That's the positive you should take away from this, is that people are hungry for boxing, but it needs to be promoted better. And what better way to promote boxing than to have two guys that people recognize? Maybe this is good for the sport because people will be like, hey, I'd really like to see a competitive fight next time.
Well, speaking of promoting, do you think that this will open the door or segue this possible movie that's coming up in which Jamie Foxx will star as Iron Mike in his life story?
I mean, that makes some sense. that sounds like a good time to start promoting some stuff. Wait, is this movie like in production, or is this is this like concrete? I don't know. I did no homework.
Yeah.
Today. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is in production.
I think it's like halfway done filming. I think the pandemic shut down some, prolonged production times. But yeah, there was I think like a year ago there was like a picture that Jamie Foxx tweeted out of him being in quote unquote Tyson shape. even though he said, I am not in Tyson's shape. I just look like I'm in Tyson's shape. What's bizarre about this is that Jamie Foxx and Mike Tyson, I believe, are about the same age. Maybe Tyson has 2 years on him, but they're both in their 50s. And it's just amazing. It just shows you like Hollywood shape versus like actual fucking competitive fighter shape are just two totally different animals. You can get in Marvel Cinematic Universe shape and still get your ass kicked on the street. Whereas, Mike Tyson could look like a bag of shit and still beat the piss out of you. But I'm excited for this. I just wish that Jamie Foxx is a great actor. Jamie Foxx is a great Mike Tyson impersonation. And if he can kind of take that world of like Ray Charles that he did and then blend it with a little bit of, not necessarily like In Living Color style mockery, I think he'll do a fantastic job.
Like Motherfucker Jones from Horrible Bosses. Get a little bit of that in there.
Motherfucker Jones.
I
think you're right. I think it's a good choice. He's a good like character actor. You know what I mean? Like he's good at that kind of stuff. He's always been good with like impressions and the Ray Charles was kind of next level. He turned into fucking Ray Charles. So yeah, I'd be excited to see it.
What other options did you really? I mean, the Michael B. Jordan would be he's too young. Because you can make a older person younger via lighting, makeup. Now they do some CGI shit. I don't know if they'll necessarily do that. I mean, Gary Cooper was in his 40s playing a 20-year-old Lou Gehrig, and they did it with just uplighting. So these tricks have been around since the 40s. Like I said, Michael B. Jordan, probably with his Rocky or Creed thing, probably you can't do that. You can't cast him that. So who's next? Wesley Snipes? No, doesn't look like Tyson.
Okay,
I think and see
Wayne Brady.
The first thing that comes to mind is Michael B. Jordan. I think too light. Wesley Snipes way too dark. So wrong colors right off the bat.
Wayne Brady.
So, Wayne Brady? Too nice.
Eddie Murphy.
I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I just want to stop you before you run out of black actors to name, Wes.
Morgan Freeman.
Omar Epps.
Morgan Freeman.
Tay Diggs.
I want to talk real quick about
Denzel.
Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan for just a second here.
Will Smith.
I think Michael Jordan.
His airness.
That'd be pretty good.
By the way, I think he should be doing what he's doing. I'm not taking away from his craft. I think he's good at what he does. However, I think he's lucky. I don't want to say this in a mean way or a non-woke way, but I think he's lucky to be working in the era that he's working because I don't think his acting abilities are as high as Hollywood is force feeding him upon us. And I think he's making good projects. I think he's doing a fine job, but he is certainly not on a Jamie Foxx acting ability level.
You're talking about Michael B. Jordan? Is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with that.
I think that we're trying to promote minorities, which is a good thing, but I can smell when smoke's being blown my way, and I think Michael B. Jordan is a good actor, but I don't think he is as great as they are passing him off to be. And I mean, I think the Creed movies were good, but Rocky won a fucking Academy Award. Creed was never going to win an Academy Award.
Yeah, but I mean, he's had there was a couple other ones that came out more recently. Not Creed. I'd have to look it up. No, yeah, I mean, yes, but no. He's had a couple more like serious roles recently, and they're not maybe like they're not blockbuster films like you were talking.
While Alan is looking this up, I think I have a few more that might do. So Mekhi Phifer.
Okay.
Tyrese.
Is that Michelle Pfeiffer's brother?
Tyrese?
Yeah.
Tyrese already blew the money if he got this job.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
as Tyson. I mean,
actually, you know what? Whoopi Goldberg, like 20 years ago, there's a strong resemblance.
Wendy Williams.
She couldn't stop farting. Burping.
Yeah, okay. So it's called Just Mercy. You guys should check it out. It's a good film. Have you seen it?
Okay. No, I saw it, and I'm not. I hate to sound like this. I kind of rolled my eyes and was like, man, they're really pushing this guy to make shit, aren't they? Like,
but see, Jamie Foxx is in this film too.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
Bottom line is this: cancer sucks because we lost Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was the black actor that Hollywood needed, and sadly, God has a twisted sense of humor about things. Like, nope, we're gonna give you Michael B. Jordan. Here you go. Good luck.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
Well,
he's kind of not wrong.
Coming to America 2, it's coming out. Come on, man, it's got Arsenio.
Arsenio.
It's out.
Well, yeah, you're right. Well,
yeah, and again, this is another one of those that was like at the top of the streaming list because you really can't go to see things in theaters, and everybody was like, nah, it was all right. It shouldn't be a #1 movie in America, but it's Eddie Murphy. Nobody aged in 30 years,
right?
So if you want to see, the same movie again, fire it up.
There's normal person, kick your ass aging. There's Hollywood aging. They all get faceless anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's African American aging, which is like half the speed of like white folk.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
As a brown person, y'all got it rough. Your skin does not accept Earth's natural elements well.
No, it's the sun, Alan. You guys were built to just combat that motherfucker.
Just all of it, man. Like the first time I ever heard about windburn, like it was a white person, and I was like, God, y'all get fucking burnt because the air moves too fast. Jesus Christ! Like, how do you live?
Oh shit!
We moved to the northern parts of Scotland.
Yeah, apparently.
That's how.
My people were bred for stooping over and picking potatoes. That's what we do. Okay, we wear burlap sacks, we dig roots, and we starve. That's our meat. That's why we're so angry. That's why we conquered.
The giant heat source that provides us the very life that we live just slowly kills you folk.
Yeah, and and slowly to a point where we wrinkle and look like a nutsack that's been left out to die.
Just all pruny.
Look at that. God.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, don't you Google me, you son of a bitch.
We aren't doctors, but we'd love to take a look at some more of the middle class holes.
Welcome back to the Middle Class Holes. Foxman, Murr, Alan coming at you here. Spring is upon us. And speaking of spring, penises are shrinking and genitals becoming malformed because of pollution. An environmental scientist has warned in a new book detailing the challenges facing human reproduction. Dr. Shana Swan writes that humanity is facing a, quote, existential. Wow,
existential.
Words are hard.
Man, we got to start proofreading your fucking articles for you, bud.
Dumbing them down.
I didn't write this. I didn't write this.
Well, clearly.
Infertility rates as a result of. Oh God, I'm skipping that.
Next.
Basically, what she's saying is pollution is making penises smaller and reproduction harder. I don't see any type of number, data, things like that. Oh, one study published in 2017 found that sperm levels among men in Western countries has dropped by more than 50% over the past 4 decades after examining 185 studies involving close to 45,000 healthy men. I also heard that could be done by wearing boxer briefs more often than boxers. Because then your balls stay close to your legs, and your legs are hotter, and the body temp kills them. But I don't know. I mean, okay, are our dicks getting smaller because of pollution? Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't know. I think this is this comes back to marketing. If you want to save the world, you tell men that their dicks are smaller because the world's polluted. Okay? This is a step up from my Tesla argument. You don't make an electric car because you're trying to save the world from fossil fuels. You make an electric car that is superior to gas-powered cars, and then motorheads get themselves like, well, fuck this Mustang GT that burns high-octane V8 bullshit. I'm going to get me that Tesla, and that sweet sound of superiority is just going to right on by everybody. Now, you tell everybody, and your dick's small because there's some smoke coming out of that stack. Well, fuck that smokestack. What we got to do? I'll build a wind turbine for my backyard. I ain't got no small penis. Whether this is true or not, this article will help single-handedly save the world.
I mean, he's not wrong. There's not much else to say. I mean, I'm surprised there isn't fucking legislation on the House floor like now. Yeah, like right this moment.
Because ultimately, I think if it comes down to a crisis such as pollution, and you say your penis is shrinking as a result of it, obviously all men are going to be for it, and all women are going to be in on the lie to say, yeah, your dicks are getting smaller. We got to clean this up. And if a woman came up with it, obviously this Dr. Shayna Swan, I mean, I don't know her from Eden or whomever, but man, if this is
or maybe Shayna Swan. Swan sounds like an Asian last name, and I'm sure that, there's a few stereotypes out there about the Asian men of the world, and I'm wondering if they maybe fed her a whole bunch of bullshit, like, oh, my dick's so small because of pollution.
Oh, man, that'd be messed up. So we're saying that this could potentially be like a coordinated attack from, like, China and or North Korea, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because they're the biggest polluters in the world, and also, is it so coincidental that also, the smallest penises in the world, and then they say, well, we don't have small dicks because we're, inferior to the rest of the world. We are just the most polluted nations in the world, and if we want our dicks to get bigger, we got to clean this shit up. Because I heard that China is actually on the forefront of cleaning things up because they see fossil fuels as being a thing of the past, and they are staunch at moving forward when they decide to.
Hey, by the way, the reason I couldn't pronounce that word is because it's spelled wrong twice in this fucking article. I scrolled down and they're missing an A. I'm not kidding.
It's spelled wrong everywhere in the article.
Okay.
That's why I can't.
Phthalates.
It's spelled wrong in the dictionary. That's why I can't read it.
Well, I was wondering, like, PHTH. I was like, wait a minute. That's how it's spelled the first two times I see it. Phthalates? Come on. Some Greek bullshit. Some Greek bullshit.
Just phonetically. Just say it phonetically.
Yeah, but there's an A between the PH and TH. Come on.
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, God, no. Well, I don't read good all that well anyway, so you guys make fun of me because I get self-conscious about it. So these phthalates make the hormone it's not even estrogen. It's not even spelled right, but whatever. Thus disrupts the natural production of hormones in the human body, which researchers have linked to interference in sexual development in infants and behaviors in adults. And it revolves around plastics being, I guess, either burnt or disposed of incorrectly. This dials back to a really good George Carlin joke where he said maybe God came up with plastic because he didn't know how to get rid of it. Now that's our job. Just burn it. Just burn that shit. Throw it in the ocean.
We just throw it in the ocean. Now our fish are like a quarter plastic.
With smaller dicks too.
This still supports my my Asia argument because they're the ones that took all of our. This is okay. By the way, recycling was the greatest scam pulled off by American companies and the waste disposal companies in this country because all we did was put that shit on barges and send it to China, and then the Chinese burned it.
Yeah,
They incinerated all of it because they're like, we can't do anything with this shit. But we were paying them to take it. And now they won't take it anymore, which is why your recycling doesn't get recycled. It gets thrown in the fucking landfill now. They just don't tell you about it anymore.
Or they just burn it, too.
Yeah.
We've even resorted to just burning it. We're like, fuck it.
Maybe we need to get teenage boys to start burning shit more, like we talked about roughly a year ago on a podcast. Remember this?
Yeah.
Refresh.
Well, it came about people burning stuff, and I said that me, my brother, and a neighborhood friend used to collect junk and have a bi-weekly just burn fest. And we talked about not throwing specific things, like Domino's pizza boxes had a very good plume.
Yes, they did, and the ink would like turn into like smoke immediately.
Yeah, and we hovered around it. Probably made our dick small back then, but we didn't know.
I definitely did. That's definitely true.
100%. 100%. Murray, you had a you had a very kind of interesting Asian accent / mockery over there. Just a little bit.
No,
ago.
that is an accurate accent, I will say, and that's an accurate accent of a native Asian person speaking English.
Farara. Okay, fair enough. So here we have Jay Leno, former host of the Tonight Show on NBC, and regarded for a long time as the king of late night, depending upon who you talk to. Letterman for some, Leno for others, but the ratings pointed towards Jay Leno. He's been off air for a better part of a decade now. So nearly 15 years afterwards, this activist group, the MANAA, Media Action New Network for Asian Americans, came out and described his words as being offensive. Jay Leno, this is his quote. He says, "At the time I did those jokes, I genuinely thought them to be harmless. I was making fun of our enemy, North Korea, and like most jokes, there was a ring of truth around them." And he goes on to say, basically, we had two sides of the coin. Either it's a joke, screw them, or we need to deal with this. Then he said, "I'm issuing an apology. I do not consider this particular case to be another example of cancel culture to be legitimate, wrong, or done on my part." Then he goes on to say, basically, "I knew these jokes were bad while telling them, but I did them anyway, and I feel bad about it." Is this revisionist history on Mr. Leno's part? Does he really feel bad about making hand over fist and multi-million dollars? That wasn't his only. I mean, he did joke upon joke upon joke. You got to come up with material somehow. And I don't necessarily say it needs to be racially driven, but this wasn't his blanketed statement.
I mean, listen, man. I find racism hysterical, and I know that some people might not that statement, but I mean, I can't help myself. I feel like comedy is one of those areas where you got to just leave it alone. Now, do I believe his fucking story about how, like, he's just trying to, like, half-ass backpedal? No. You guys were giggling about Asian jokes in the fucking writer's room, and it's okay. It's fine. Yeah. It's comedy. That's your job. You got paid to do it, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with him in that this isn't about woke culture. Maybe no one's specifically coming after him to cancel him completely, but I think Jay Leno has been as successful as he's been because he's kind of been able to see the writing on the wall with things, and that's what's created the longevity of his career. And I think if these guys pushed forward with a lawsuit and it became a media story that Jay Leno was being sued by an ethnic group for ethnic jokes, we now know, based on recent history, that there is no timeline, or what do you call it? Statute of limitations on being canceled. And so I think Jay Leno is just smart enough to get in front of it. If you break down jokes, think of any Dave Chappelle bit, think of any Bill Burr bit, you can kind of, if you really broke it down like in real people reasoning terms, yeah, they make people feel bad. But that's also why they're funny in the moment, because like he said, there's a ring of truth around them. And were they funny? Obviously, he wouldn't have told them for 10 years straight if they weren't funny, if people weren't giggling at them. So does he feel bad about making people of that ethnicity feel bad? Yes, I'm sure he does. But why make it a public statement unless some, companies threatening lawsuits?
Well, I was going to say if Leno had continued on this joke spree, he would just say, "Why do you care what I do? I've been out of the game for ages. Why are you coming at me now? This stuff was done years ago. I'm not a host of anything anymore." But I did not realize this. He hosts a game show called You Bet Your Life on Fox. So this group offered the network an ultimatum of firing the host, or now the group will approach sponsors to boycott the project. Didn't know that. I didn't know Leno came out of retirement to host some shitty game show.
I don't think it started airing yet.
Okay.
And so that would be why you get out in front of it before, you start to have this controversy as soon as it goes to air, or you can't rile up enough sponsors to support it, to go to air. And he's got Jay Leno's Garage. He's got a lot of projects he still does. I watch Jay Leno's Garage every now and again. It's actually, to me, it makes me like Jay Leno more because he's like a real person talking and not just, I heard they like to eat dogs. Which, by the way, why aren't they going after the North Koreans and folks that still eat domesticated animals? And I mean like pets. Why aren't they mad at them for the jokes he told were a lot of them were rooted around the dog eating situation that we're all aware of. Isn't that worse than bringing it up in joke form in a monologue?
What,
you know what I mean?
Eating of dog?
Yeah, the eating of dogs, to me, call me crazy, seems worse than joking about someone eating a dog.
Yeah, but I mean, I try not to judge people's other countries' dietary things. And just there's a couple points here. One, dogs not anywhere near endangered. Fuck them. We've got too many of them. Sarah McLachlan always makes you cry before they kill like 16 of them. So fuck it. Feed somebody. I'm sure dog meat's not great. So whoever's eating it's probably not super stoked about it. And then two, North Korea, I don't know what goes on behind the fucking, the wall over there, but I have a feeling that the average everyday North Korean citizen has a little difficulty eating their fill on a day to day. So, if you gotta fucking take out a Dalmatian, get a little protein in there, fucking go for it.
I would like to.
They're fucking half blind anyway, right?
Yeah, and deaf. I would like to point out and assholes that Alan in the last 5 minutes said racism is funny and eat dogs. Don't care.
Look, I didn't say we eat dogs. We have lots of resources here. I can go to McDonald's. There are a little more options, I think, here. Like I said, I don't know. Never been there. So yeah, but hey, if you're in a situation where an authoritarian regime might limit your food intake, I think dogs on the menu is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know, but see, this is the problem. Like, rabbits are plentiful. They fuck like nobody's business. Pigs, by the way, are delicious.
Isn't Korea
is
Korea surrounded by fucking water?
Yeah, they have so many other things they can eat. They eat dogs because they're sadists.
I think North Korea is not surrounded by water. I think that it has a strategic disadvantage with access to water. I don't know that for a fact, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Is it on a peninsula? It might be. I honestly don't know anything about it.
Borders the Sea of Japan and the Yellow Sea. To the east and west.
Either way, the problem I have with eating dogs is that the dogs, it's so fucked up because the dogs were wolves at one point, and then we were like, "Hey, come here, little poochie poo," and then we turned them into pussies, and then they're gonna keep eating them. No, these other animals that people cry about, Like this is their natural state of things. They're naturally delicious. They're naturally stupid enough to come close to us, and then we naturally eat them. Dogs, we bred them to be like this.
But see, if I'm a hungry person in a country where I could die for looking at my dear leader, the wrong way, then fucking, maybe I don't have the energy to hunt rabbits don't just like come to me and fucking get eaten. I have to do a little work. I have to snare one. I have to learn how to fire a bow and arrow, probably craft one. I don't know if they sell those at stores. So dogs, on the other hand, if I'm a homeless or a scourge of the earth North Korean and I'm just trying to feed myself and there just happens to be a wild dog hanging around and I'm like, come here, buddy, it's totally fine. Gah! Fucking food! I know what option I'm going with is all I'm saying.
I like that. I also like that your dog killing technique is the same as stabbing someone in jail. Like popping them in the ribs.
I figure he didn't have this person hypothetically didn't have advanced tools, so he just shanked him.
Shanked.
He's got him with the old sharp toothbrush.
She-hang, the dog shanker. That's what they call him in the streets.
I'm not saying put dog on the menu. I'm just saying I understand it.
DMX would beg to differ. I think it's I don't know. I'm not saying Leno doesn't have. I'm not necessarily buying the. I felt bad about it when I was doing it.
No, he didn't.
No, and then neither did the other 13 people in the fucking room who were writing jokes for him. They pitched it. Everyone chuckled. He was like, "Yeah, we're rolling with that. Let's do it." Yeah. Over the course of 20 years, I don't know. Did Letterman not? Did he not tote this line of Asian racism? Or is he just not hosting game shows now, so he's not a target?
That's part of it. And I think that Leno liked to find a lane, and then part of his funny was, like, staying in it. Like he would do every night of the week, he would work. Like, that Monday, he would get a big laugh on, like, a specific joke. And then every night of the week, he would find a way to work that same lane into the monologue. Like, he would a similar joke. And by Friday, it would get the big laugh again because it's like he figured out how to get one in every day of the week. Mm-hmm. So he would really hammer. But the thing is like all jokes, they have some sort of truth to them, and they target somebody. So at some point, if we keep apologizing to specific groups, then eventually you're going to be all apologized out, and things are going to be off limits. That's what I don't like about this mainly. And by the way, Asians are the most racist people on the planet. There's probably more of them collectively than anybody else on the planet, and they judge all of us. Americans have a very jaded view of racism because we have such a storied past, and we're so diverse. Go to any Asian country and start picking out the other cultures that live there. It's not going to take you long. If you got two hands, you can probably tally it up. There ain't a lot. They're very inclusive. They don't appreciate other cultures or races. So just the fact that they're asking us to apologize for something is just like, really, guys? Really?
That was a super generalized statement, but I'm pretty sure I agree with you. I mean, I know I've worked for some Koreans. Yeah, I mean they're racist, but I mean let me not lie. Latinos are racist too. Everybody's racist.
I don't want to say racist. Judgmental. Everybody's definitely judgmental of other cultures. I'm not going to say specific skin tones.
Yeah,
I will say of other.
Alan judged us for getting skin burn earlier. Jerk.
No, I didn't judge you. I just made fun of you. There's no judgment at all. I mean, I don't give a fuck. It's not.
By the way, look it up sometime. The hierarchy of Asian cultures. They all hate the Indonesian countries. The Japanese are the top of the food chain. The Chinese hate the Japanese, and they all the two of them hate the Koreans, and then all three of them hate everyone else.
You know, I once knew it was a a couple who it's like Indian couple. I feel all racist saying that. A man and woman who happened to marry each other of Indian descent but grew up in America. Okay, their parents were both Indian immigrants from India, but from different classes. Okay, you following? Yeah. So typically, you didn't marry out of class in India. So this guy had to go to this girl's parents, and she was marrying up in terms of the class. This guy's parents made more than this young lady's parents, so he had to convince them that it was okay in America. And it was like an hour-long sit-down of Q&A, and no, it's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna take her into my home. We both work 9 to 5, so we both make great money. The yada yada, etc., blah blah blah.
And the pool's a lot more shallow than it used to be. You ain't swimming in amongst a billion people that you can start to pick and choose. And we're lucky we found each other. So why don't you shut the fuck up?
Well, that's another thing too. Right. He had said at least she's married into the quote unquote. She's not marrying some white dude.
She's not marrying some honky.
and the parents are like, that's a good point. That's actually good. That's a good point. I like this guy.
Yeah. And so when you look at something like that, and then you look at America has made leaps and bounds considering the diversity that exists in this country. So do we have some hurdles to still get over? Yes. We'll always have those hurdles to get over. But comparatively, we probably live in the most welcoming culture that's ever existed in humankind. So I'm not saying that we don't need to do some more fighting for, rights and such, but we can stop burning down Starbucks, I think. I could be wrong.
When were Starbucks being burnt down?
All summer?
Just Starbucks specifically, or
CVS's?
What about Caribou Coffees?
Yeah.
What about like a Pete's coffee? Do you think they got one of those?
Yeah, probably. I'm just assuming all coffee shops in the upper Northwest have been burnt at this point.
Well, that makes sense, because if you want to stop hipsters from screenwriting, that's usually the place you should burn down. So it makes sense.
That got me good. That got me right here. Oh, shit. All right, moving along. Murray, you had called bullshit here, but this is the Twitter craze of the week. This is not a new segment. I just, had to announce it as if I were a ring announcer. Basically, a Los Angeles man. The thing I found funny about this is the Los Angeles man's name is Jensen Karp. That means mostly nothing to the layperson, but he is married to the young lady that played Topanga Lawrence. Do you guys know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, and I think that
good for him.
I think that indicates yowzers, right?
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah,
that's a good move.
Something Fisher.
What's Topanga look like these days?
Like older Topanga.
Yeah,
like older Topanga. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Topanga Lawrence. Right. So this guy basically says he found shrimp tails, other shit. Something. Oh, it's Danielle Fishel, by the way. Is her name? It's something that looked like dental floss, rat droppings, etc., in a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Murray, you're still a little bit skeptical. Can you tell us why? But do you also kind of are you toting the line of believability, fiction versus nonfiction?
Okay, so the pictures. Okay, this is the problem. This is where Cinnamon Toast Crunch fucked up. So, homeboy says
the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right,
yes,
Mr. Crunch specifically.
That might be one of my 10 favorite sentences of all time. All right, this is where Cinnamon Toast Crunch fucked up. So, homeboy claims he found shrimp tails in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then he posts pictures, and then Cinnamon Toast Crunch comes out and says, well, upon further review, it looks as though that some cinnamon and sugar mix must have clumped up, and though it seems as though there were shrimp tails in there, it's really just a manufacturing error, and we do apologize. And then dude comes back and says, no, due to my investigation with my eyeballs, looking at them sitting in my hand right now, these are fucking fishtails. Woo. But then they show another bag that they apparently bought at the wholesale club that was like scotch taped over, has dental floss in it. Like, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't fall into, processed bags and such, but to have one family buy 2 boxes of a similar brand and then to have multiple fucked up things happen just seems like bullshit to me.
Yeah. So you're saying the coincidences of excuse me. The coincidence of the family buying 2 boxes to having dental floss, shrimp tails, rat shit, and other stuff in it is just way too ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially the oddities that you're finding, like to have shrimp tails in there.
Yeah,
like when I watch a lot of like how it's made and Modern Marvels and things, and I like to watch the factory videos.
Mm-hmm.
And unless there was some Asian guy having his meal of shrimp and rice, and he like discards the tails into the vat, like how do they get in there? That's just 2 very strange, different types of foods. Yeah. Like the dental floss thing, okay, maybe somebody on their lunch break flossed their teeth, it got stuck on their shirt or something, they went back onto the floor, it fell in. Okay, maybe. But to have that happen and then to buy like how many millions of bags pump out a day in this place? And they buy the 2 bags, the only 2 bags in America that are tainted at the moment. Come on.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with Murr on this one. Like if they were like, yeah, my fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch was filled with insert other General Mills cereal here, then I'd be like, oh, okay, well that kind of sucks. Like nobody wants kicks. If you were opening up a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you know what I mean?
I think you could have stopped at nobody wants kicks.
Well, that's fair. But yeah, I just I don't see it. How is shrimp getting in there? What General Mills products involve shrimp tails?
It was obviously
and are they in the same factory? I don't think that's true.
It was a Caucasian hating Asian who was enjoying some shrimp during his lunch break and was chucking the shrimp tails in the assembly line, fucking Lucille Ball style, firing him in there. No, I once had, I'm trying to remember who the teacher was and when. I'm just right around my education. They said every now and then at the bottom of a bag or in the middle of a bag of cereal, if you find a clump that's very concentrated, very dense, and a little bit heavier, I would throw that away. And everyone in the class said, why? And they said, I don't know. I just think that's a chance that that's a rodent that wound up getting caught up in all the processed stuff. And I'm not sure if there was any truth to that. He may have been told by his parents or someone older than him. But floss and fucking what is it? Shrimp tails? What does that mean? What, the person ate the body and chucked the tail into the I just always think of it as a spinning vat. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, like the quality control guy at Cinnamon Toast Crunch just fucking like religiously eats steamed shrimp for come on. It's just the strangest. I don't know. If it was literally almost anything else, I'd have been like, okay. Like even the floss, like Mercer, that's like, okay. Human air, something silly. Shrimp? No. That's fucking
yeah. Shrimp with tails on it, that's not a work food. That's not something you like take to work to eat and then take on that's not even something you take on. It's obviously not something you take on the workroom floor at a factory. Like you're not just walking around like sucking the heads off a shrimp. And what are you putting the tails in your pocket? And then what, you had to floss your teeth because you got like a little bit of shrimp skin in your teeth. Like sure. I don't know why I said Cinnamon Toast fucked up. Is because they did that whole thing like, well, upon further review, without seeing it, without actually having their hands on it, looking at a picture on Twitter, and then coming to a conclusion. That's where they gave Homeboy the upper hand to say, no, motherfuckers, these are shrimp tails. And I looked at the picture. They're definitely shrimp tails. Were they actually in the bag of cereal? I don't know. But when any video I've seen of them making any manufactured product of this nature, especially where there's a powder, you're walking around with a ventilator and like a hospital gown and the whole like the hair wig thingamajig, the hairpiece thing that you wear so hairs don't fall out into stuff. Like, it's a clean room when you're walking around in there. And so how it got in there, I don't know. But the whole image of they fucked up when they showed the bag with the Scotch tape on it. Because anybody can do that. I could do that right now. I'll walk in the bathroom, grab some dental floss, tape up my bag. I don't know. It just, I got a lot of red flags on this one.
Yeah. Clout chasing. That's all it is.
What did you say earlier? Look for the what?
Who, me?
Yeah. You're talking about like Trump's social media. You said look for the...
No, just look for the grift.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right, yeah, like, here's the question. Is Topanga fucking auditioning for something? Is she got a new show coming out? See?
Boy,
that's the shit. You gotta use your third eye. You gotta fucking...
boy meets stepson.
Yeah, like, I bet you she's auditioning for something. She's got something coming out. She's like, hey, guys, see, I'm back in the spotlight again because my husband found some shrimp in a Cinnamon Toast Crunch box. Like, it's fucking stupid.
What do you think, Wes? What's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, they would have had me if it just been shrimp tails, but I don't know if this was just someone's like, I don't know if shrimp tails is going to do it. You know what? We need to get some rat shit in there and some floss to really make this believable. Then you make it less believable. You make it pro wrestling-esque. I don't know. The shrimp tails in and of themselves would have been fine, but then I don't know. It's like extremes of a different level. It would have been like, oh, I found a wrench, bubble gum, and a dryer lint in my Captain Crunch. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. That seems a bit vast. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It doesn't. I don't know. If I don't believe in aliens, I'm not going to believe that these three things wound up in fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There we go. Finally.
I thought I was going to go the totally opposite direction. I thought he was going to be like this. Yep, true. 100% true.
Now, have you guys found anything in your food products ever?
I found... Okay, you mean like that? Like what they're talking about?
Yeah, anything like that. Anything strange.
So you mentioned who likes Kix. I found a berry Kix treat, but it was in a different bag of or box of cereal.
I had something similar happen.
That seemed a bit disturbing to me. These people couldn't figure out the berry Kix treats went into my Fruit Loops. God, the audacity.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, but some of the Crunch Berries were Cocoa Puffs. I was like, oh my God, look at this. Yeah, and that actually seems like a good combination. I wouldn't mind having that for real.
See, those are all fucking reasonable. It's like, oh, well, fucking little kernel of cereal 1 got into cereal 2. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know? At no point did cereal production move over to the fucking, the linguine and shrimp fucking line and fucking accidentally end up with some fucking noodles and shrimp tails in it. Like, it's just nonsensical.
You mean to tell me that the Post line somehow made an off-ramp exit into the Balotelli pasta factory? Oh my God.
Right.
Under the same conglomerate.
It makes no sense.
And by the way, I did find the clump one time. I actually think it was a Cinnamon Toast Crunch clump. And it was like, imagine like, I don't know, 8 Cinnamon Toast Crunches like fused together. And I did not follow your former teacher's advice. And I said, oh, I just got the Super Crunch Ball. Let's have at this motherfucker. It was the most intense Cinnamon Toast Crunch taste of all time. And it almost made me vomit. It would be like, you know how salt is good, like with little granules? And then if you tried to eat a chunk of salt, you would probably go into immediate cardiac arrest.
So terrible.
It was a very similar sensation to the body.
Now listen up, fellas. Do you know the statistics on unprotected sex? Men are 3 to 5 times more likely to bust early. Don't be a pump and dump. Wrap it up. Now, back to more of the Middle Classholes.
The Middle Classholes back at you, Mur, Al, and Foxman. And we're going to hit you up with what we like to do on Fridays. Mur, take it away.
That's right, Wesley. It is time for your Fun Fact Friday. I have 5 fun facts for you fuckers right now, being brought to you by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You can find them on Facebook if you're a pussy looking for like-minded pussies like yourself. Go seek them out. Especially if you have any pain below the knee and above the ankle. They might be one of the fastest growing groups on Facebook currently, adding new members daily. And dude, seriously, if they get past us, we're going to have to sabotage them, like hardcore. They're up.
The organizer said he would blow the group up if that happened.
Okay, they're within like 100 now. It's quite frightening. They're gaining steam quickly. But if you would like to share your stories of first world misery, find the Shin Splints Recovery Group now on Facebook. Let's get to it.
The podcast name to the Shin Splints Recovery Group.
Just blend right into it.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Your Fun Fact Friday, and we will start with this fun fact right here. Did you know that Einstein's career was greatly influenced by his partying? As a young man, he was part of a drinking club where friends got drunk and debated philosophy and science, and where he and his wife once, quote, alas, dead drunk under a table. He later said that the club had a big effect on his career. I don't doubt it. None of us have the genetic capacity to come up with the theories that Einstein had, but I would say that my life has been greatly enhanced by lots of drinking and nonsense talk that I've done now with you, Alan, and with Wesley for fucking decades at this point.
Yeah, Mur brought it up in a best man speech where he said that the foxhole, a.k.a. the basement of the house that I grew up in which we just drank beer and indulged and philosophized for hours on end. No, we didn't create the A-bomb or things like that. Or what, have sex under a table? Is that what he said? Alas? I've never heard that.
No, they just got dead drunk under a table. Like, he and his wife got so drunk that they passed out under a table at this club.
That's normal.
And this is the guy who figured out more about the universe really than anybody in modern history.
Yeah. I mean, did he not look like a drunk, though? Like, every picture I've seen, he looks like a drunk.
He definitely looks like he would fit in just fine on any college campus in America today. He's wearing whack-ass sandals, never fucking combed his hair. Apparently, Actually, check this out. The reason Einstein wore sandals all the time is because he actually never learned to tie his shoes.
It's because, like,
what a genius.
Motherfuckers with that much brain power don't have time for that shit. Like,
yeah,
they're busy thinking over here. All right, they don't got time to tie shoes. Just give them some Velcro and let them be on their way.
Didn't it was like Hemingway and a few like literary artistic group that all lived in or around Paris got together frequently and just got all fucked up and talked about art and writing and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but they didn't learn how to split the fucking atom.
Yeah, but there's
a difference between talking about fighting a fish on the open sea and fucking obliterating humanity from its fucking elemental core.
Okay, yeah. I get it. I'm not like rating Picasso with the Einsteins of the world, but I don't know, the art and that was beautiful. I mean, fuck you, man. Go to the next fact.
Did you know the oldest art of all time was found on a 540,000-year-old shell. Researchers in Indonesia discovered ancient carvings on a seashell that indicate Homo erectus may have been smarter than we thought.
540,000 years?
Yeah.
Costa
We are
Rica?
a young group of folk, man. Like, that ain't nothing in the grand scheme of existence.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of that stuff was like chiseled out, on caves and things like that. But they're saying that the earliest they have, or they think they have, is 530,000 years from Costa Rica.
Indonesia. And by the way, the reason he's called Homo erectus is because that's the first one that stood up. Like, we're not talking about, like, the first one that, like, made fire or anything like that. Just the first one that went from knuckles to, like, what's from knuckles to, hey, what's that? And that was making art. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like you're underplaying this just a hair.
Well, no, because it reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this, but there was probably about 12 years ago, there was a silverback gorilla at a zoo that decided to get up and start walking around. And you, on your radio show, described it as a giant black Jim the Anvil Nightheart walking around. It's going to freak humans out. I remember that really well.
Thank you. I do remember the video. I don't remember my description of it. No, that's one of the scariest things in the world. If you saw a fucking gorilla, I mean, it's one thing to have one charging you, like, on all fours, like they do, kind of like that half sideways, like, shoulder rumble that they do. But then to have one be like, all right, fuck you. It's like pissing the guy off at the bar that is just going to break your neck and leave you for dead. Like, okay, here I come. Like, doing something unnatural for them, I don't know, that just scared the heebie-jeebies out of me.
530,000 years ago. Okay.
And I didn't send it to you, but apparently they just found a 12,500-year-old. It's the first wooden sculpture ever, and it has very alien-like properties to it. We'll have to chat about that next week. But
real.
For now,
they're real.
Did you know that beards make people healthier? Growing a beard has actual health benefits, such as preventing allergies, asthma attacks, and rashes, and protecting skin from the sun, especially in us fragile-ass white folk.
Mm-hmm. Guys should pick up some beards for summertime.
Is that why women are so always unhealthy?
That's one of the main reasons. I'm fairly certain.
Not my women.
That and fragile bones, I believe, are the two.
Yeah,
two major culprits.
What's the term for that?
Anemia?
Osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis, yes, that's right. You can only, here's like a fun fact, you only can grow bone density until you're about 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, you knew that.
But,
okay, never mind. I guess the
but
beard
I know a lot of random shit, bro. Remember, I host trivia and shit. Like,
you can continue to strengthen your bones, though. You can by lifting heavy things, your bones will strengthen. Like, you don't get any more like bone particles, if you will, but you can strengthen the shit out of those. And by the way, it always freaks me out that like the way you're getting stronger is you're actually like on a microscopic level, you're breaking your bones and they're just like healing up. Like that's, I don't know. It's just so sadistic to think that that's how you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like so if you know like how bones actually grow, there's like two little segments of bones at the ends of your bones, like your arms, like your long bones, and those are the parts that grow like outwards. And that's what you're talking about, that like finally solidifies and hardens and then you don't grow anymore right around 25.
Right.
The body's crazy, man.
That's when I broke my leg when I was 15. It was so close to my ankle, so that we don't think so, but there may be growth plate implications, which would require further surgery. So I had to go in a year after I got my cast off to get another X-ray, and they said, "I'm not going to lie to you. There's about a 2% chance that something may be fucked up." And, you know, I said at 16, I was like, damn, 2%. And of course, the entire car ride there, I'm like, what if I am fucked up? What if I'm going to have to live for the rest of my life?
Why the fuck would they tell you that? A 2% chance.
Well, because that
like,
probably
that's
was
like
the correct statistic.
Sure, it's a correct statistic, but like as a doctor, your whole point is to like improve the quality of someone's life. And at 16, you tell somebody like, "Yeah, you might be wearing a fucking cork shoe for the rest of your days."
I was gonna say you might be wearing one of those shoes with like a 4-inch sole.
I don't know. Maybe because in his Einsteinian thought, he thought I would think of the 98% chance. That's good. There's a good odds.
No. No, you only harp on bad news. No one thinks of the good news.
Well, of course, I know. Over across the Route 40 bridge, I was like, maybe I'll just jump off this fucker.
There's a 2% chance you have to tape a brick to every shoe you buy for the rest on your right leg for the rest of your life.
God.
Because watch this, Wes, as your official life coach. Well, listen, son, there's a 98% chance that you're going to grow just fine.
And I did. I feel so much
you see?
better. Yeah.
There you go.
God, idiots. Did you know that introverts and extroverts have differences in their brains? Studies show that introverts are easily overstimulated and have thicker gray matter in the part of the brain that's linked to decision making, while extroverts are more stimulated and have greater response to risk and reward.
Ooh. Wait, so you're saying they're different? Is that what you're getting at?
That's what no, but your brains are different. It's not just like you have a personality difference. It's that you're actually like born like me. I like being inside and not seeing humans. And you like, diving in swimming pools with a thong and wrestling in Jello. It's fun.
You accused me earlier of mashing things up. That didn't happen. Never wrestled anyone in Jello in my thong. Okay, I was in a thong.
When did your ball hang out in front of a whole group of people?
I pulled it out through my fucking pants.
I was gonna say voluntarily or by accident. This is many occasions.
Now you're mashing things together because now you're talking about a time that you voluntarily showed your testicles to girls and said, I think I sat in some gum.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the story.
I'd be across the room just giggling hysterically as he walked over to do it.
You're talking about when I had to wear a thong and my balls were showing?
It was something you did with your fraternity, and I remember you telling me this story because it was about the day that you lost all shame because you were wrestling somebody in a pool or something, and one of your nuts came out, and you were like, "I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna win."
No, it's not. You're mashing like 3 stories together, and I don't even know which one to pull from. The only one I remember is about.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, all right.
I just want to say that I have so few stories where my nuts are hanging out that I don't have 3 to mash together. And here you are trying to figure out which one it is.
There was nothing about Jello or wrestling someone else. I think that's part of your own perverted sexual desire that you shove that in.
I was like, I don't remember such an occasion happening, and we were in the same fraternity.
Yeah, and Alan's not that far removed from me. I just remember I'm supposed to get into a pool that has like mulch and water and all this other stuff, and I have my thong on, and it's very not exactly suited, and someone was like, "Damn, bro," and my balls were fucking bulging out the side of the front piece that would cover a female's hoo-hoo parts. The Jello and wrestling someone else, I
actually kind of lucked out in that regard. I was not in a thong. Unfortunately, I was in control tops, so I had a lot more coverage. So it worked out a little better for me, I think, in that instance.
Yeah,
just to be fair, I got 2 out of 3 details correct.
That's fine.
There's balls and a thong and a pool. So
Yes.
3, actually. There you go.
Yeah. Jelly, Jello, I don't know.
Right? What do you think we are?
Is it animals?
Yeah. We only sit in baby pools full of mulch and fucking dirt and cold water, not Jello. So cliche.
Somehow jelly makes more sense than the other nonsense you were sitting in.
Actually, the
Yeah,
fraternity,
it's probably just pricier. quite frankly.
the fraternity still exists, Alan. We could pass along a suggestion.
Yeah,
Hey, boys,
I mean,
listen, got an idea.
What's a baby pool in like 50 gallons of fucking KY cost? We'll figure it out.
And finally, did you know snails shoot darts that are like Cupid's arrows? About 1/3 of all snail species shoot love darts at each other before mating. The snails stab their mates with a dart covered in mucus that makes their sperm more effective and temporarily prevents mating from other snails.
So the male does this to the female, I presume.
I would assume, yes.
Well, I don't know. Some of these are asexual or carry both male and female traits. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the snail anatomy. I think that's pretty fucking badass. Hell yeah. You're mine. All right. I'll be back in 20, 30. I don't know.
And you can go hoeing it up because my love hook prevents you from getting fucking extra pregnant. So there you go.
Just like this, the mucus part, the mucus dart, the mucus dart of love.
Mucus dart of love.
I think that was a Huey Lewis song.
I think we remember, like,
It does sound like one.
yeah. I think they ever like actually portrayal. What is it like Cupid's arrow? They ought to do some sort of revamp where it's I don't know, Sluggy's arrow. Like let's get shot. Splooges all over someone.
I think I get Slurms McKenzie. Do you ever you guys watch Futurama? Have I ever talked about that? Futurama?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
In short, there's a episode where it's like a Willy Wonka style. Like they go to the factory that produces this. It's a canned soda called Slurm, but it's really just like snail juice that they squirt into cans, and it's like this big ruse behind the scene. And they find it out, and then they find out that the mascot, that their beloved mascot, Slurms McKenzie, who's just like the party slug, like that's his whole thing. He's just been forced to party for years. So like he takes his sunglasses off and his eyes are all bloodshot. And he's like, I just been partying for so long. So that's really all that came to mind. Slurms McKenzie.
You know that's from Spuds McKenzie. Are you aware of who Spuds McKenzie is?
No, I mean I've heard that before, but no. Like, I don't know what. No,
That was a Boston Terrier who was a Miller Lite, like animal spokes
dog.
Spokes dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember this dog. Yeah. Now it's coming back to me.
See,
Okay.
Murr remembers it really well. I remember it somewhat. You remember.
I remember the name and nothing about it.
This is the
He
generation.
remembers
where-
like it was featured in Family Guy one time.
Hey, was that Brian's gay
right.
brother?
Right.
Eduardo.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Oh, before we get to our sign off, I do want to point out, because we did a segment a long time ago. Actually, I think, Alan, is when you and I were still co-hosting from over here, of the Wendy Williams Fartgate. Was it Wendy Williams?
I think it was the Wendy Williams Faint Gate.
Faint, yeah, like a faint fart, or something like that.
No, where she was dressed up like the Statue of Liberty and she fell down.
Oh, okay, never mind then. It was the politician who farted while he was talking.
Yes,
No, we covered Wendy farting too. We've covered a lot of Wendy. Is really
Okay, so
Just-
recently Wendy Williams burps then farts. Have you guys heard that?
no.
Oh, I heard it, and I work, and my job sets me out in the middle of Joe Public all day long. And I did not see the video. I heard someone play it, and
This is undeniable.
I laughed maniacally in the middle of like the open air and I couldn't stop. I've since seen it and changed my opinion, but at the time it was the funniest thing I'd heard in months.
Yeah, she goes on to, she yaps about something, and then it's like, oh, and then the crowd's like, ooh.
You got to find it. We have to hear the audio. But I do have a theory while you're looking it up. I have a theory on this. I don't want to ruin the raw audio on this, but we just entered the sweeps month once again. And I do remember the Wendy Williams fart gate from before, which happened right around the springtime about 3 years ago. 2 years ago, it was the Wendy Williams faint gate. And now it just so happens we have the double barrel fartbird gate.
Fartbird gate. Here we are, folks, coming at you.
I haven't caught anybody coming out of the house yet, but, you know, just a matter of time. She's not lonely.
Wendy Williams shocked fans during her chat show as she appeared to burp.
Wasn't even a good fart. I think just like the burp was, I don't know, relatively lackluster. Then it was not a big fan.
Is this like debunked? Is this fake? Do we know that this is fake now, or is this still up for debate?
I don't think anybody has enough time to spend trying to.
Right.
Because I got a theory on what it is. It is Wendy. It's her alien body wiggling inside of her human skin, and it just fucking makes sounds because, you know, the moisture and the wiggle. That's my theory, because I still wholeheartedly believe that bitch is an alien. So
it's just like who's it from D'Onofrio from Men in Black?
That's exactly it. It's just loose skin. Dude, I'm just saying, look at her head and then look at the standard gray big-headed alien.
Who's the alien from Futurama?
There are multiple aliens.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The alien
American
from
Dad.
American Dad, yeah.
Oh, Roger?
Yeah. Is that him?
I can see that.
But the reason I think that this is a sweeps weeks tactic is because that show is not straight live to air. It's live to tape, just like what we're doing. We don't edit anything out. It's just live to tape. And then we air it as is, as it happened. She has the ability and the executive capacity to go back and delete that if she's like worried about like her persona or how it affects her. And she left it in for air. So to me, it's like, why would you do that?
Literally.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, that's my theory. At first, I thought the fart, the burp might sounded kind of real. I almost felt like the fart like sounded like it was like fart machine style. It almost didn't even seem like a real fart.
I just said, I can't. If one of my buddies were to do that, I'd be like, yeah. You gave me. I don't even want to say it. Don't want to say it. You gave me some pussy shit.
Well, what do you think? Was that what's your overall take of the Wendy Williams fartgate?
I mean, I think no, I don't. Here's the thing: it's almost like one of those weird criminal cases where you're going to have a tough time proving otherwise. Right now, the court of public opinion suggests that was a real burp and a real fart. And unless you get a stool sample or some sort of Larry King smell the fucking seat or smell the glove type thing, you're going to have to take someone's word for it. That's fine. I don't really... I have some time on my hand, but I don't want to waste it wondering whether or not that fart was real. All I want to say is like, do better. Don't give the public this... Like, give us some fucking thunder. Make that seat vibrate.
Some juice.
Yeah. Give us a hot lead.
Well, with that take, I mean, then I feel like she did exactly what she wanted, because now you're debating it, which is what exactly... I feel like this is what she wanted. She wanted people to dissect it, and that makes her relevant. I only hear about the Wendy Williams show when something embarrassing happens to her, and it seems like she is really good at manufacturing embarrassment, in my opinion. I can't make a claim because I don't have time to, nor do I have the wherewithal or the concern to go through and debate whether I'll debate it, but I ain't gonna investigate it.
Gotcha. Well, I said I would pay $10 to smell Larry King's fucking chair. Maybe I'll pay $5 to smell Wendy Williams.
I just heard a rumor actually today that that Larry King actually had 3 oscillating fans under the desk because he farted so much. To keep it away from guests. He had fans to blow his shit particles the other way.
Good.
It was just him dying from the inside.
He had like speaking of Futurama, he's like a very Richard Nixon-esque look to him. Oh shit! All right, Alan, where can you find the middle class holes?
Well, you can email us at well, you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We are at MDL Classholes on Twitter and Instagram, the Middle Classholes on Facebook, and of course, we're streaming for your listening pleasure on all your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
The constituency has been growing. We appreciate the love, the subscribers, and all that stuff. We're not growing at a clip as the Shin Splints Recovery Group, and we're a little salty about that. But we're a little Epsom salt about that. But
ooh, this would be called the Epsom salt episode.
you like that? But we appreciate it. Otherwise, any sign off? Anything? You guys want to sign off? You just want to call it a night?
Just stretch your ACLs and your Achilles.
Right.
I'm just gonna insert fucking faux shin splint recovery advice into our episode.
And if you are experiencing any pain below the knee and above the ankle, if you rub the soft tissue with a spoon, you too can have some results of
a frozen spoon. You gotta throw that bad boy in the freezer first.
Oh, I didn't. Aware.
And it's gotta be a big spoon, like a big old soup spoon or something. None of that teaspoon stuff.
Yeah,
unless you're dainty. Hey, pick the spoon that works for you is really what I'm saying.
Also, pick up a 90 pack of diapers and put one on daily because you likely need it.
Wear a diaper when you run to relieve yourself because the excess weight from holding it causes stress to your shins, thus the splints. So
that's a WebMD diagnosis.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Get a life coach. You might need one.
They got you. You got 2 licensed ones right here.
Good night, folks.